Here we go again. Breaking news, breaking news. Another one, folks. Another earthquake has struck Japan. They have a tsunami advisory has been issued. Alerts are going off in Japan. It seems like some of the buildings have been shooken in Tokyo, back in the same area where they just had the 7.6 in northern Japan. And we got a live feed on the coastline, northern Japan. So we got a live feed. We're going to monitor what's going on. We're going to talk a little bit more about these earthquakes that have been popping up around the Ring of Fire in the last week. Big one in Alaska last weekend. Another one just the other day. Big one in northern Japan. And it seems like they got hit with another one. And they predicted this. No, this is a 6.7. But one thing I find interesting about this earthquake compared to the other one they happened the other day, this one was much more shallower. This one was in a depth of 12 miles. So it's very concerning, folks. Very, very concerning of what is happening and what is going on. So we're going to pay attention. The last one that happened at 7.6 was 30 miles deep. This is only 12. The more shallow it is, the higher chances you could possibly get a tsunami. But they are saying possibly 1 to 3 meter tsunami might hit the area. Amori Prefecture, same general area that was before, folks. And now we get hit with another one. It just continues to happen. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we're just going to keep talking about the earthquakes. Other popped up. This is, circulating. I tried to get the best feed we could get of the coastline. There is some other channels, but they're all in Japanese. So we want to, find out ourselves, do a little sleuthing, digging around, and just paying attention to the waterways. I can say that, though, the water looks a little bit active here. Will they get a tsunami? I don't know. But this is a topic worth talking about because it continues to happen. And some people are saying it's related to the solar flares and the auroras and the geomagnetic storms that have been happening. Some are saying it's happening right now. The geomagnetic storms. There's some live feeds up with the aurora. Obviously, what you heard on Tuesday with this G3 out of threat level geomagnetic storm. What's going on? What's going on out there? What's going on? Magnitude 6.7 earthquake hits Japan's northeast region. Tsunami advisory issued. So we are on a tsunami watch. We're on tsunami threat, tsunami watch. Another one. Last time we were on with the Japan one a couple days ago, the 7.6. This is 6.7 reverse 7.6, 6.7. We watched it to they officially canceled the tsunami warning. This isn't a warning. This is an advisory, but it's still all worth watching and talking about. The quake happened at 11:44 a.m. their time. So I looked on my I looked and saw what time is it in Japan. It's GMT. It's 12:19 p.m. So it's the middle of the daytime. So we don't have the night feed like we had when it happened. It's interesting, though, because the one a couple days ago happened about 11:15 or so in the morning. This is now happened 11:44, 11:15 at night. And then it was dark all night. This one happened 11:44 a.m. So 12 hours later, a couple days later, you get another pretty strong one. Just a couple days ago, you got that same region, 7.5, 7.6 in the same general region. And we're looking right now live at the coastline. So share this video out. We'll talk a little bit. I'll try to find some clips. They were saying the buildings were shaking in Tokyo. So I'm going to see if I can find some Tokyo shaking in Tokyo. How's life living in Japan when they have to deal with this on a regular basis? This is almost like the new norm with these earthquakes that keep popping up. But they predicted this. A new magnitude 6.7 in a second cluster in Japan. Seems to be from the plate still preparing to lift up, as this quake was very shallow compared to the normal at this site. And that's what we discussed. The one the other day was 30 miles deep. This one is 12. So, 12. And it is Oh, it's the 12 on the 12th. It is the 12th there too, by the way. Let's see if we can find some, footage or whatnot. I don't know if this is going to be an exciting live, but it's just, we always want to see what's going on. I'm fascinated with Mother Nature and these tectonic plates and all that, ring of fire discussion and everything. The USGS says it happened 114 kilometers east-northeast of, oh, good, I'm going to butcher this name. Hachinohe, Japan, Hachinohe. I'm sure I butchered that. Now, the USGS is saying that the depth was only 10.7. So that makes the situation even worse than it was 12. The more shallow it is, the more chance you get a tsunami. Now, I haven't seen any indications here as you see the waves going that all the water gets sucked out into the ocean. You know how it works with the tsunami. Always gets sucked out into the ocean before it all comes raging back. And they just say just a 0.2 meters or centimeters, just like I think they were saying like 30 centimeters can literally push somebody of raging water. So, it's that serious, folks. It's that serious. It could get that serious. But how serious will it get? Yes, another earthquake. People are like, another one? Yes, they had another one. They just had another one. USGS confirmed it. Go on X, Twitter. I usually find this information out on Twitter first because I got like mega screens around me. I got like a bunch of screens. And then in the left corner here, I got X. And X is always up. And I'm just scouring around. We're kind of like wondering what's going on in the earth. And this popped up. So I'm like, what in the heck is going on? Tsunami advisory. Oh, APT got a nice little feed up on the water here, but I think this is pretty good here to see because this will be indication. They're just showing some bay, but this will be the indication whether we see this thing get sucked out into the ocean and whatnot. Or the Sea of Japan, Pacific side Sea of Japan. Now, let me look and see if I can find anything on Tokyo because people are reporting that buildings briefly were shaking in Tokyo. All right, so feeds are starting to come up here. Feeds are starting to come up, but we'll keep it on here. They pretty much got like the bays and they're looking out on the oceans, everything like that, kind of like what we're doing. We're kind of like watching. You can see in the top right corner, it is 12:12 their time. They're on the other side of the international date line. So it is 12:12. It says 12:12:33. 12:33, right? 12:12. So that's what time it is. 12:33 Japan. And this is a live look. Look at the waves, though. The waves seem like they're coming in more and more, but I don't see any indication of a tsunami yet. But I think we have the best live footage. I had to go scour around these different feeds and everything like that till I found the best one. Now, there has been numerous in the last, I would just say, day or two, numerous earthquakes popping up. And you'd be shocked. I was looking at the Earthquake USGS site. You'd be shocked how many of these little ones have been popping up all over California, like all along the coastline of California, 3.2 and Blue Lake. I mean, I'll describe here. I could put it up on the map, but it's crazy. All these little earthquakes, just little ones, not big, threes, but just the accumulation of them are just popping up. Petrolia, California, 2.2 today. You have, what else you got? You got West Haven, Moonstone, California, the 2. You have Petrolia. There was another one there. Where was the other one? Oh, they got 3 of them in that general area. Willits, California, 2.0. Geysers, California, a 1.0. You got Dublin, California, 2.4. You got Juan Bautista, 2.5. You got Parkfield, California, 0.8. Templeton, California, 1.5. You got Lopez Point, California, 2. This is all today. The fault line is active. Fillmore, California, 2.2. South of Los Angeles, Bear City, 1.1. So many of them. Salton City, 0.6, 0.6. You're not even going to feel nothing on 0.6. But yeah, there's been so many along these the fault line, Ring of Fire. There has been a few actually in Hawaii, on the Big Island. In Hawaii too. Let me zoom in on here. I'm looking at the USGS site. We're watching the live feed here to see if anything popped up there. Koloa, Hawaii, 2.2. Pretty much where the volcanic eruption happened. 1.5, 1.8 in Hawaii, 1.5, 1.4. If you look at the USGS and look in Hawaii, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 earthquakes today. A lot of earthquakes. What's happening here? A lot of earthquakes. So we have earthquake discussion. USGS, this one, 6.7, 10.7 miles. And they actually have this one in red, big red, north of what's Amori Prefecture. Mori, if I'm saying that right. Gets hit a lot, folks. Here is a current view. Sky's nice. It's daytime there. As it gets dark on the East Coast, here's what's happening. See what we got. See what we got. Everybody's talking about it. Every 10 seconds, somebody's saying earthquake, earthquake, earthquake. It's the 12th. 12-12. Wait, 12-12. 12-12 right before 12. 12-12-12. Some people think symbolism and numbers have a lot to do with things. Tsunami's not expected for the U.S. That's what people are putting out. And we're talking about Washington, Oregon, California, Alaska, or British Columbia. There's no tsunami threat to Hawaii. That's what's being put out there. Everyone wants to know. The Philippine Institute of Volcanic and Seismology said there is no tsunami threat to the Philippines. So none to the Philippines, none to Hawaii. What about Russia? What about Russia? Let's see if Russia got a threat. What about Taiwan? What about China? This is pretty much in the, if you look at Japan, pretty much in the northeast side. Now, people are playing videos, but I think they're AIs. I think they're fake. They're showing cars shake and everything like that. Shaking. I don't think they're real. I like this. I'm gonna embed this. I'm gonna get this up here and embed this on the right side of the screen. I like this. 42-kilometer depth. 6.7. Again, another one, folks. Live looking at the coastline. Any indication of a tsunami? We're on tsunami watch this evening. Late night emergency live. It's kind of getting fascinating. We never want to see loss of life, destruction. We don't want to see that. We don't. But it gets fascinating seeing, how all this works, particularly with these earthquakes that just popping up in the last week. Started in Alaska. Big ones. At the same time, the king tides. We talked about the king tides. King tides, moon, super moon aligning with the sun and the earth, causing these massive tides. And then the solar flares and the geomagnetic storms and sunburst and all the radiation that's spewing out. Apparently hitting the earth, the auroras to the north, though I haven't really seen any like oohs and ahs auroras. All just a combination of everything. We've discussed this. We'll always say, is it all connected? Is it connected in any way? I don't know. The Japan times. Let's see. Magnitude 6.7 quake off of Mori triggers tsunami advisory. Same area where the other one hit, just about. 11:44 a.m. Waves 1 meter are possible. Here we go. I think this is pretty good right here, right? It's pretty good. Same area, same area. Kind of looks like dun dun dun. Crazy tsunamis continue to hit. Tsunami advisory, a level lower than a tsunami warning, urges those in the area to stay away from the ocean. Evacuations on the coastline, not mandatory. The quake occurred in a depth of approximately 20 km. Friday's quake, it's Friday there, follows a magnitude 7.6 earthquake on Monday night, which left more than 30 injured and initially triggered a tsunami warning. A subsequent quake advisory was issued in the region after that 7.5, meaning that the likelihood of a larger quake is relatively high. This wasn't a larger quake. It was a little, people say 7.6, 6.7. Believe it or not, I don't know that I'm not a math person, but they just say the level of difference from a 6.7 is to 7.6 is not as simple as just looking at the number and seeing, it's less than 0.9. No, it's a big, big difference. And as we discussed, it appears averagely on Earth, on the Earth, the planet, it only received about 27.0s or above per year. So this is pretty close to a 7. So you could say this is the third one in a week. Third one in a week. What is happening? What is happening here? Why? How? All right. So let me actually go to the, oh, by the way, I'll tell you what's even more crazy. Now, I don't know if this is all related. Washington State and Oregon is getting tons and tons of rain, like rain they never had in our generation. We're talking about communities. And I think it's like a big ridge, and it's pushing like United States, the western part of the United States is in like a heat dome right now. And they're saying that possibly like those, those fronts that come down from the Canadian fronts, like it's just going to stay up there and not really come into the United States and the entire United States for the next 6 to 10 days, besides what's happening right now on the East Coast coming down through, but it's going to warm back up and push everything back up. And it's just going to be like a heat dome or something. Like I'm seeing that. But right there at Washington State and Canada up there, it's just, they're getting so much rain. Now, I don't know if this is all related to what's going on here and stuff like that. Maybe somebody in the chat. But I'm just saying there's wacky weather going on at the same time. Active water rescues right now going on in Washington State and Oregon. People without power. What is that called? The Snoqualmie Pass between Seattle and going, to the eastern part of Washington. In that pass there, there's the falls there. It's just like crazy, crazy, crazy rain. Towns are being flooded, flood warnings, historic situation, the Skagit River, all-time record flooding. Flood levels are predicted to max at 46.13 feet and 42.13 in Mount Vernon in Skagit County. These are like records. No fatalities, but is it all related? Is it all related in any way, shape, or form? We're having a conversation to see what's going on out there with the earthquakes. Oh, okay. Let me look at Russia. Let me see if Russia is in any zone or emergency or anything like that in Russia. And this is some crazy stuff. Crazy weather. Earthquakes. We're monitoring the seas right now in Japan to see if we get any tsunami. If there was to be a tsunami, it could be 1 meter. Remember, 1 meter is 3 feet. That can still do damage. 1 meter can do extensive damage, actually, in coastal low-lying areas. So there is a tsunami advisory. It has not been lifted. It is still going on. We'll continue to monitor the situation. Another one. We got another one. We'll see what's going on. Look, the Mirror just put out an article. Japan hit with a second earthquake this week as tsunami, well, they say tsunami warning. Thousands evacuated, they say. A 6.7 magnitude earthquake has hit Japan, sparking a tsunami advisory and evacuations in some parts of the country. The quake has been detected off of the Aomori Prefecture on Thursday, or actually Friday, the 12th, with sea level fluctuations detected. It comes after Japan issued a mega quake warning amid fears of up to 200,000 people could die earlier this week. That's what the Mirror says. I don't know if it's that extreme. Following a 7.5 magnitude earthquake recorded on Monday. The Japanese Prime Minister issued a warning earlier this week, warning the citizens of Japan to be prepared no matter where they live and be ready to evacuate as soon as any tremors are felt. So they predicted this. They predicted this. Like they predicted other ones could come, and look, they're coming. This isn't as big as the other one. What is the waves looking like? Is this just a normal day? Now, I haven't looked at this feed prior to finding the feed. We are live. Look at that little island out there, that little hump. Kind of looks like those things it looks like the Goonies off the coast of Oregon. Looks like the Goonies. Tsunami advisory issued. And we're closely monitoring the situation. Strong quake. What is this? Yeah, this is weird. I want to go to APT in a second and show you the feed there because they got like some sort of alerts going off or something weird. Like all types of sirens going off. I don't know what it is. We're definitely monitoring this. We'll see. Now, if the tsunami comes at this point, it probably all the water will be pushed back, but we'll see. I'm looking, but I'm also scouring the net for information to keep everyone informed and safe for all our Japanese friends. We might have some Japanese friends that are watching JLR Investigates to see exactly what is happening. Well, another one, folks. Another one has hit. Another tsunami, possibly. Earthquake, definitely. Definitely had an earthquake. Tsunami, maybe. So this is coming up now. Weird. So the feeds are starting to come up on the coastline of Japan. This is like weird. You don't know where they're getting this from. Scary stuff, though. Imagine you living on the coast and you're in the daytime, you got kids at school or something, and you're getting these alerts that are popping up telling people to evacuate. Looks like feeds are starting to come up, so this stuff is really breaking. Let's see what's happening. It's weird. It's like Morse code. It's Morse code stuff. Uh, 11:47 a.m. while listening to NHK music program, the program suddenly interrupted, suspected to be issuing a earthquake tsunami alert. Confirmed on NHK English TV screen. Hope everything is fine. NHK shortwave issued tsunami warning this morning due to an earthquake in northern Japan. It's weird. Strange. Isn't that strange? It's current. It's weird. It's weird because there's some conflicting information saying tsunami warning and then tsunami advisory. Some of the media outlets like the Mirror are saying tsunami warning, while other ones are saying tsunami alert. Some are saying tsunami alert. Yeah, see what I'm saying? So they got that feed up. I'll continue to monitor that feed of what's going on. We're going to stay with this for a bit and see until the coast is clear. Will the coast be clear? I don't know. know. Strange stuff, folks. Tsunami. We're on tsunami watch right now. Get yourself a beverage. Let's see. It's pray for our Japanese friends. Yeah, see, NHK World Japan is speaking about the matter, but they're speaking in Japanese. That's one of the disadvantages of us, unless we have a translator or something. Somebody's speaking right now about this matter. GGTN has also got a feed up on the coastline. They're all going. So we're just monitoring here to see if they're going to actually get a earthquake or a tsunami or not after an earthquake. 6.7. And they're also monitoring to see if they get other earthquakes. We'll see if there are any news reports come out on this. We can go back and forth a little bit. Watch. Tsunami. Crazy stuff. Why do these things keep happening? We're on tsunami watch. Not one mainstream media. Hey, there's a guy that actually made a video. There's a guy in Japan, an American, that made a video talking about this. You know, he posted saying they're getting alerts. They're getting alerts. Stuff keeps happening. Tsunami advisory. However, some media outlets are saying warning. All I see is advisory. And the prime minister warned that this was going on, possibly happen. Nothing on power plants there. They checked all the power plants. The earthquake and tsunami warning the other day prompted an evacuation order to be issued for 2,800 residents in a Mori area. As precautionary measures. I guess this extends on for days that they feel that this could happen, or even a bigger one. What about the big one in the United States, man? I just have this gut feeling it's coming. I have this gut feeling somewhere along the San Andreas Fault, somewhere San Francisco, outside Los Angeles, something. I have that gut feeling it's going to be bad, and I hope not, and I hope and pray that it doesn't. When the big one happens, and I think the big ones happen, it doesn't happen at like a rush hour type time in the morning or the evening time where everyone's out on the roads. Hope not. I hope not. But they're like, think one is coming. It's scary. We have to actually live. Like I don't have to worry, but I'm in Florida, but I got to worry about hurricanes and tornadoes. Japan Times, GMI Network, Jerusalem Post put one out article, 6.7. Newsweek just put one out, 6.7. So it's all going 6.7. Al Jazeera, 6.7. $6.7 earthquake. Again, we get another one, folks. Crazy. We're watching to see what happens here, if at all. Maybe something doesn't happen. Let's hope it doesn't. But yeah, what is up with all the flooding that's happening in Washington and the tides on the West Coast and the brutal cold air? I got this guy here. I'm going to put this guy up that talked about the evacuation and got the alerts.
Well, we've just had an earthquake warning come through on the phone, which means it could be an earthquake any second. but I wanted to show you this video because everybody's phone got the message that there was an earthquake coming. You can see nobody is concerned in Japan about earthquakes. So all this talk and media and social media crap of the past week about the 7.2 earthquake that hit and, you know, devastation and pray for Japan and all this sort of bullshit, it's just clickbait rubbish. It is absolutely clickbait rubbish. And you've got creators like John Dobb that doesn't help the situation by spinning bullshit as well. The fact of the matter is, Japan has earthquakes every single day. I think this year alone there's been something like 120,000 earthquakes in Japan. Whoa. Yeah, that many. And when you see that the last earthquake was 7.2 on the Richter scale, sure, there was 7.2 at the Richter scale where the earthquake happened, which was in the ocean. So all this shit you see on social media or on the news is just bullshit, it's rubbish. I've been looking at the photos and the photos are like either old or not in the actual location where it happened. Stories that just didn't exist whatsoever. Just completely and totally fake. Absolutely fake. It's American hype media. It's called shock media. Unfortunately, TV channels in Australia are owned by America now, so they get the same sort of thing. It's all the idiots on social media trying to get clickbait views as well. And it's just ridiculous. So I just thought I would show you. We have an earthquake warning come through on the mobile phone now, which means any second there could be an earthquake. Might have even just happened now. And I just want to show you how calm everyone is in Japan. They really don't care.
Interesting. Well, first it was a 7.6, not a 7.2. And you literally have the prime minister telling people to evacuate. He's saying that's no big deal, nothing to see here. What do you thought? What's your thoughts on that? Saying it's a bunch of rubbish. We get 120,000 earthquakes a year. I don't know, folks. That tsunami in 2011 was the worst tsunami. That was the worst. I mean, I think the one in Bali was bad. The Indonesia one, I think it was in 2004, but the one Japan tsunami in 2011 was I've never seen anything as bad as that ever. Now that was like a 9.0, I believe, earthquake, something 9.1 or something like that. You're hardly ever going to get one as strong as that. But that was crazy. Was that guy right or wrong? Should we all have hype or what? Are we just hyping this up, or is it something of something or nothing of nothing? I guess I don't know where he was at, somewhere in Tokyo. He said, we got earthquake warnings. It's crazy, though, because the systems there are designed like right. Now, what's going on here? Let me see something here. Now, there's a lot of like reports in Japanese. They're saying 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter tsunami. So Bloomberg just put out the alert. Bloomberg report. Now, in a minute, I want to play like it's related, but it's not related. But in a minute, I want to play a CNN report talking about the major floods in Washington State, because I do think everything is connected in one way, shape, or form. The atmosphere, what's going on with the storms, the solar flares. How in the world, while all this is going on, Washington State, which is the West Coast, right there in Alaska, Washington State. How in the world is Washington State right now getting record flooding, where they really haven't got flooding on this level? Is it connected? So I'm going to play this clip here. We're going to take it back here, but I just want to show you about the extreme weather in Washington State, too. It's wild stuff. I mean, people literally have to get evacuated because of the craziness. Check it out.
A dangerous situation developing in Washington State. At least 6 rivers are hitting major flood stage this morning. That is the most severe level of flooding, and the water is still rising. Officials have warned of catastrophic flooding, ordering evacuations for up to 100,000 people. Many of those evacuations are along the Skagit River's 100-year floodplain. That river is expected to rise at least 6 feet above its previous record. Already, swift water teams have been making rescues. One mother took this video inside her home. She told CNN that the water reached 3 feet high in her basement. And on the roads, high water, mud, and debris all blocking traffic and shutting down roads statewide. Washington State Patrol has urged drivers not to try to drive through the high water. They posted this message: you drive a car, not a boat. Let's get right to CDN meteorologist Allison Chinchar for the very latest on the situation, which seems to be getting worse at this point, Allison.
Yeah, and that's typically what happens with river flooding because it's more of a delayed effect. You can see the video here next to me. This kind of showing how they are trying to reinforce one of those flood walls that are there, the barrier that is meant to protect the communities around the river. Again, just trying to reinforce it and make sure it holds and does its job as those rivers are expected to rise around this community. But the real question is, okay, but how high are the rivers forecast to actually get in these areas? Well, we take a look at the Skagit River specifically because that is forecast to get up to record levels. The forecast crest 41 feet, more than 41 feet. You can kind of see that peaking right there on that map. The previous record level was 37 feet. So we're not just talking a little bit above. You're talking significantly above where even the previous record was met. And flood stage alone begins at just 28 feet. And that's when you start to see some problems where water intrusion starts to happen in some of the surrounding areas. It's not the only one, though. It's one of several. All of these dots here indicating a river gauge that is set to be at either minor, moderate, or major flood stage over the next several days. And keep in mind, some of these are not forecast to crest for several more days because you have to wait for all of that runoff to come down from the rain to eventually flow back into a lot of these rivers, creeks, and streams. Now, it is still raining across much of this area, so that's going to add to it. So it's not just the runoff from the previous days, but we're also adding new rain on top of it for these areas. That's why you have the flood watches in effect around Seattle, Tacoma, and much of the Pacific Northwest, but also downstream. So you also have some of these in effect for portions of Idaho and Montana as that system continues to progress eastward. This is the atmospheric river that we've been talking about here. Again, that large plume of moisture that is just being funneled into the Pacific Northwest over and over and over again. So it's that constant stream of moisture back to back that's really leading to a lot of these issues, not just the flooding because of the rain itself, but again, that delayed effect. Here's a look at the forecast. Again, notice as we head into the next 48 to 72 hours, it starts to dry up, and that's exactly what these areas need.
But it is very much an ongoing, developing situation. Still nighttime there. When people wake up, I think they're going to need to take some action in some places. As I was reading, highways to Vancouver have been shut down this morning. A lot going on. Allison Chinchar, you were watching it all for us. Thank you very much.
People living in communities across Washington state are being told to leave their homes. 8 rivers and creeks are hitting their most severe flood level this morning. Rescuers waded through nearly, as you see here, waist-deep water to get to several people.
Crazy. Isn't that crazy? Is it connected to the earthquakes? Is it connected to, what's going on with the sun and stars and everything like that, and the solar flares? Is it connected?
Situation developing in Washington.
Creeks are hitting their most severe flood level this morning. Rescuers waded through nearly, as you see here, waist-deep water to get to several people and bring them to safety from an RV park near the city of Ording, which is about 20 miles southeast of Tacoma. And the rain not letting up. Another 1 to 3 inches is possible today, and showers could still linger into tomorrow. But what are they dealing with and how are they handling it? Joining us right now is the mayor of Ording, Washington, Mayor Joshua Penner. Mayor, thank you for being here. Just tell me what is happening and what has happened. How do you describe how hard the community's been hit so far?
Good morning. What's happened is 3 exceptional events in a row. We have this atmospheric river that's hitting the entire region. And normally we see one of these events maybe every 5 to 10 years. We've had 3 in the last 2 days. And so we're on our third hit of this atmospheric river. And each one of those is stressing our flood control projects, our flood control systems. We've done relatively well here in Ording. We've planned for this significantly and executed that the emergency operations center that we'd set up. And it's a system-wide, region-wide challenge to respond to these sorts of things, but I think we're doing pretty well, all things considering.
I guess that's that's kind of the important poll, relative, all things considered. I mean, the way the governor had talked about it is this: when it comes to some records, they're not just going to be broken; they're going to just be shattered. I mean, what's your biggest focus right now? What do you think? What's your biggest area of concern?
Well, I think my biggest challenge is getting accurate, timely information and making decisions. As you know, we issued an evacuation order for part of our city. Doing that while kids are on their way to school or parents are on their way to work is real challenging. Being able to identify where the danger is, communicate, and effectively get folks out of any potential danger area requires coordination between different partners, and it requires people on the ground actually going door to door and connecting with our citizens.
And I was wondering how things are going with that regard. We've seen a lot of reports. We've seen of water rescues. I mean, have you heard any reports of injuries, like how people are managing? Because according to the forecast, it's still set to be coming.
Well, folks are scared right now, and there's good reason to be scared because these rivers. We do multiple swiftwater rescues a year. They can be very dangerous. I think what people can do is they can pay attention to the channels where they communicate most, whether that's social media or news or phone tree. And we try to put out our information in every modality possible. We also work very closely with our swiftwater rescue teams through the county and the state. It's a dangerous situation. You don't want to get stuck in the river. It's not a slow moving river. It's a very fast moving river in this area. And we're between two rivers in our city. And so it covers a relatively large geographic region. And we're doing what we can to work with our partners to make sure that it's covered. Such as that RV park, which is maybe 4 or 5 miles outside of downtown.
And as we know, when the rain stops, the river can still rise for a time. So you still have hours and likely days before you really are in the clear and can start maybe breathing a sigh of relief here, Mayor. But thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate your time. Good luck.
Management, parts of Marietta and Ferndale are being evacuated as well. King 5's Alex McClune has more from SUMAS.
We're gonna drop this end down.
A group of high schoolers is grateful to be out of harm's way.
I've got family and friends that have to deal with all this.
I've got family in Everson and in SUMAS with flooding.
Tanner Swinburne and Weston Sigmund live just outside the SUMAS flood zone.
Dude, this one's getting close.
And are stepping in to sandbag wherever they can.
We did 10,000 there. But yeah, just trying to help as best we can.
Blocks away, downtown SUMAS is underwater. Businesses, streets, and parking lots. The city is mostly an island with the only way in from Canada. The teens are trying to shore up the house of a sheriff's deputy.
Hello. How's it going? We have a bunch of sandbags.
The cruiser and other cars are taking on water in the driveway.
I think they wanted some. It just sucks. It's sad to see that people's homes are filled with water and potentially have to move out and start again.
It's a repeat of 2021 when the city saw its worst flood ever.
That one was pretty bad. There's about 3 to 4 feet of water, just still water in people's homes. So I got to help out with that one and did the best I could.
County officials say this week is starting to look worse after water rose over levees and damaged a dike.
I know that the community would do the same for me if I ever was in the same scenario.
Tanner says his uncle just rebuilt his house nearby.
We have 3 sandbags left. You guys want them?
And is one of the many families watching what happens over the next week.
I hear the flood alarm going off all day here. It's a warning that not many people listen to. According to the mayor, he tells me that people stayed home and a rescue boat helped people trapped in their homes to a shelter at a local high school. In SUMAS, Alex McClune, King 5 News.
This is bad. This is bad, folks.
Keep a close eye on that community. Around 75,000 people are under evacuation orders in Skagit County. If you live in upriver communities, including Hamilton and Concrete, and downriver portions of Burlington, Mount Vernon, and LaConner, you're being asked to evacuate, not return home until officials deem it safe. Years old is holding, but concerns over the dike's stability have rattled residents in Skagit County. North Bureau Chief Eric Wilkinson has the latest from Skagit County.
There are more than 100 people, about half of them kids, staying at this one Red Cross shelter alone, and the agency is making plans to open a third if necessary as the fallout from this storm continues. Dan French brought his wife, 2 daughters, and 5 cats to this shelter overnight. His home is dry for now, but he's not taking any chances.
When they get up to that point where they're saying, we recommend you evacuate, we're not one of those stubborn people that sticks around.
The Skagit River rose 2 feet overnight, but the crest upriver in Concrete was below what was expected. That's good news for all those living downriver, where the Skagit will push the aging dike system to its limits, possibly beyond. Temporary berms built over the past 24 hours shore up the system, allowing Dike Commissioner Jason Vanderkoy a moment to exhale.
But still not to the point where I'm going to just go home and take a nap.
Vanderkoy and his teams are continuously patrolling the dike system, looking for any breaches.
So by tomorrow morning, this water will be right up to the top.
But while the river is no longer expected to rise to a worst-case scenario, the current scenario still isn't good.
When that pressure builds up, water wants to equalize, and it'll find ways underneath the dike.
Or over the dike. On Friday, the Skagit is expected to top lower parts of the system west of Highway 20 by as much as 6 feet. Meantime, crowds gather in downtown Mount Vernon to take in the spectacle. The flood walls installed in 2018 in place. The worst of the flooding still to come.
I pray to God nobody gets hurt. I pray to God nobody's property is overly damaged. But what a cool event to be able to see firsthand.
Emergency officials say it'll be about 7 a.m. Saturday before they can be sure the threat here in Skagit County is over. In Mount Vernon, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
And I want to show you now the latest information on the status of flooding up to the north. I'm going to actually put my computer on your screen right now, so you'll be able to see what I'm clicking actively right now. So let's take a look at that as we speak. So this is the Northwest River Forecast Center. This is a website that has the very latest on the status of these rivers that are cresting. I do want to show you where Eric just reported from. This is the Skagit River near Mount Vernon. I want to take it full screen. I'm going to zoom it in for you. And you can see this black line across the top is the record. This vertical line down the middle is where we are right now. So it looks like we are right on the cusp of that record as we speak. And it is only going to continue to rise into our early morning hours tomorrow. So that Skagit River in Mount Vernon is expected to crest overnight tonight. And then by the end of the day tomorrow is when it will start to decrease. So we're going to keep a close eye on that community. I do want to also quickly stay up to the north, and I want to show you another river. This is the Nooksack River at Ferndale. This is another river we're watching right now for current cresting. So as of right now, it is on the rise. You can see same thing, this vertical line right here indicating where we are right now. This pink line indicating major flood stage. We're right on the cusp of that major flood stage, and we look to hit it tonight in our early morning hours. So we are going to keep a close eye on those rivers as we watch them continue to rise. So just because people may have rivers in their community that have hit their crest already and are on the decline, that is not the case for every river. Every river is on a different timeline as we look forward. Earlier today, Governor Bob Ferguson was in Skagit County as well, where those tens of thousands of people have been asked to evacuate. He calls the situation Washington faces extremely unpredictable. That's where we find King 5's Natalie Swaby, who is tracking the evacuations and how officials are responding from there.
Here in Snohomish County, you can see where water is creeping toward properties along Pioneer Highway, where barricades now block the road. Officials warn this flooding situation could turn catastrophic. Across Washington,
And it's so sad to see all the damage it's done.
neighbors describe a nerve-wracking nightmare that refuses to end.
I know this whole area was flooded this morning. Gas station across the street is, well...
His broom is no match for the fast-moving water.
I cannot clean over there, my friend.
Across the street, more trouble strikes a familiar target.
Taj, unfortunately, they always get flooded no matter what. It's really sad to see it.
So already water is inside?
This restaurant owner surrenders, closing up shop for the day.
So I'll come back tomorrow.
And not far from here, it's even worse.
Savannah is very bad.
This water can be deadly, so.
Near his home, emergency crews barricade the road.
A lot of people, you just see them driving right through there.
State leaders are urging drivers to not cross closed routes and to follow emergency orders.
We were very blessed. We didn't have any evacuations up in Darrington.
But in Skagit County, tens of thousands are facing evacuation orders.
I just want to emphasize that if you have instructions to evacuate from your local authorities, please, please, please evacuate. You know, your life is extremely important to us.
That urgent message as rivers continue to pose a threat.
All indicators that we had was it was going to greatly exceed.
The obstacles are still here as water devours roads.
Getting into the restaurant, you might need a kayak or a boat, you know?
I got waterfront property today, right?
Some are finding ways around the chaos.
The worst didn't happen, actually. So, yeah, I'm feeling like it's going to get better.
While others are ready for a break.
Man, I hope it's over. I hope so. But you never know. It's Washington.
Another impact from the flooding. Overnight, the number of road closures doubled. There's now 30 routes impacted across the state. In Snohomish County, Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
Pretty wild stuff,
Parts
folks.
of Snohomish County are facing evacuations. Areas in Sultan, the Tuaco Valley, and EB Island near Everett have all been told to leave at times today because of this flooding, and they're asked to not return until told to do so. Ray Olson sent this video in of flooding in Snohomish from the Snohomish and Pilchuck rivers. This was taken at 1 p.m. today, and you can see just how much water there is over there. I do want to show you that map one more time. I just showed you up to the north. We were in Whatcom and around Skagit County as well. I want to go to Snohomish County, and same thing. I'm going to show you my computer live, and I want to click around this website with the very latest information as we keep a close eye on the Snohomish River, which is also hitting its crest as of right now. So here, let me show you my computer live right now. This is the same map, but we're going to take you to Snohomish County at this point. This is the Snohomish River in the city of Snohomish, and this is the latest from there. This is the vertical line, same thing, where we are right now. This black line is that record. We are above the record as we speak, this line right here. And you can see we're going to stay there. We're kind of flattening out, staying just above that record through our overnight hours. And then during the day tomorrow, we'll start to decrease. But we're going to stay in major flood stage through most of tomorrow. This is once again the Snohomish River in the city of Snohomish. Now I want to take you to the Snohomish River in Monroe. So just a couple miles away nearby the city of Monroe. A similar situation. Right now, we are at the crest for the Snohomish River in Monroe, and it is expected to decline during the day tomorrow, but staying same situation, staying in that major flood stage through tomorrow, so through Friday. So all of that to say we are not out of the clear yet. I do want to show you some video of the Skykomish River from earlier today in Monroe. This is the river that's just beneath the bridge that feeds you onto 203. That's the bridge that gets you into Monroe. You can see there's people up on the bridge, but the bridge was shut down at last check. That area under the bridge typically is walkable. There's a parking lot over there. So you can see just how much the flooding is impacting that area as well. Also, Chehalis saw heavy rain totals from the atmospheric river, topping monthly totals in just a few days. That is a common trend around the region. This led to the Chehalis River to rise rapidly, as did many, prompting the rescue of a woman and 3 children. Here's King 5's Drew Mickelson with how that rescue unfolded.
We're keeping this on for a second.
Erica Woolen lives here in Thurston County. She's been seeing all the warnings about high water. She knows better than to drive through standing water. She's very embarrassed, but she said she wanted her story told as a warning to other drivers and as a thank you note to the strangers who saved her family.
I was just taking them all out to the show.
She was trying to be the cool aunt
trying to just have a nice family evening.
Erica Wallen and her sister's kids, 19-year-old Giovanni Frank, his 12-year-old brother Gabriel, and their 10-year-old sister Liliana were all headed to the old Satsupp nuclear power plant site to check out a holiday laser light show.
We had gone through some patches where there was water on the roadway, and there was someone directly in front of me, and he was doing just fine. Well, failed to take into account that he's like in a monster truck, essentially.
Aunt Erica didn't see any road closed signs and thought she'd get through the flooded Chehalis River, but when her car started taking on water, it shut down.
I panicked, and I couldn't get my windows down because the car was off. And so I opened the door, and water was already coming in, but it just flooded in like up to our chests.
They all got out into the freezing water, and it had just turned dark.
Giovanni's carrying Liliana. Me and Gabriel are walking towards a truck that I don't know who's in there. I'm just hoping that it's a good person, and thankfully it was an amazing person. And he just opened his doors, let us in, didn't even ask us any questions, and just started taking us back to where there was dry land.
Neighbors helped Wallen salvage her car. Her husband, Mark, couldn't quite get it to start today, but they're hoping it can be repaired. They're so grateful.
A community of total strangers. Just, I don't have enough kind things to say about the Satsupp community.
While they're still shaken up, the family survived with no injuries or hypothermia. And Aunt Erica still got the kids to the laser show.
10 years from now, we'll be sitting around, and it'll be a funny story about how Aunt Erica accidentally took you swimming. In December.
Aunt Erica later found out that the road had been closed, but apparently the road closed signs had washed away. In Thurston County, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
And it is incredible to see
pretty crazy,
people coming together to help those in need through all of this flooding. Speaking of road closures, we are watching major road closures across the region as a result of this storm. Debris flows is a huge problem across the region because of the rain and the Cascades. Eastbound I-90 and Blewett Pass are both back open now after closures. I-90 was closed for a full day. If you want to see the latest on road closures, you can text the word closures to 206-448-4545. That's the word closures with an S to 206-448-4545. We'll send you a link to your phone, and you can take a look at the very latest on road closures. Now we want to get to new video just into our newsroom. This is from the Kittitas County Sheriff's Office. A debris flow in Cleellum destroyed the first floor of a home. My goodness. You can see the path of the slide there. The Sheriff's Office reminds residents to be safe and exercise caution, and these debris flows can be so dangerous. So if you are in an area that is prone to debris flows or it has an elevated risk right now, especially those burn scars, you want to listen to your local authorities and get out if they advise you to. Of course, we encourage you to keep an eye on river levels and the risk they pose in your local community. We're doing our best to cover as many areas as possible, but as we know in Western Washington, it's why we love it so much here. There are so many rivers. If you want to check it out for yourself and keep an eye on your neck of the woods, you can text the word river, R-I-V-E-R, to 206-448-4545. It's the same phone number that you can text closures to. This time it's river, though, and we'll send you a link to the website that I've been showing you that has the very latest information on those river levels, the crest timeline, the major flooding status. You can keep an eye on your area to make sure you and your family stay safe. And as we continue to follow the impact of the devastating.
All right, so we switch back, but I wanted to just to share and give you guys some perspective of what's going on in Washington State. I think it's connected in some way, shape, or form, this crazy abnormal weather. Another thing that isn't getting talked about enough is the brutal cold that is about to hit Alaska in the next couple of days. We're talking 65 degrees below normal in the Alaska area. Like, for instance, I'm looking at just in the next couple of days, Fairbanks, right? Fairbanks, Alaska, north of Anchorage, Fairbanks, and middle of the states, pretty much the biggest city going into Alaska before you get up to Barrow. We're talking about actual air temperatures like Monday, 12:15 on Monday. The high in Fairbanks, Alaska will be minus 37 degrees for a high with a low of minus 45. Are you kidding me? And for numerous days, it's not even going to get warmer than minus 30 degrees. Actual air temperatures with the wind chills factoring in, you're talking about minus 70. Minus 70. Now, this is weird weather. Could be normal. I'm sure it's gotten that cold before there. But at the same time, you got the record flooding that's happening in Washington. You got the earthquake. You had an earthquake, a 7.1, 7.2 that hit in Alaska in the glacier area right on the border there of Canada. You had severe winds just the other day. Severe winds are putting blizzard conditions in that area. You had 50 mile an hour sustained, 70 mile an hour gusts, multiple earthquakes that have been hitting Japan, like this 6.7 after a 7.6 Monday night. Then you have the king tides. You have the solar flares, the geomagnetic storms. All of this messing with the weather or atmosphere. Or could we go to the more question, is this part of weather warfare? Weather warfare, because I see that in a lot of the comments too, also in the chat. Now, we've been on for an hour, right? So this earthquake happened 11:45-ish a.m. their time, right? So now we're approaching, over probably about an hour, 30 minutes or so. There still appears to be a tsunami advisory in the area. And that's what we're kind of like watching here. Seems like there could be maybe a possible small tsunami, 1 meter. I haven't seen any evidence. While we've been watching the feeds, I've been scouring around looking for more information about, this earthquake or any other ones that have been popping up. The USGS has one popping up every hour as far as an earthquake, just little ones, 3.0s, but they're popping up. They're popping up around the Ring of Fire, even off the coast. Even in Washington State, they've had a few these minor earthquakes. In Washington State, 1.1 just happened, 5:41 p.m. today in ENTIAT, Washington, in Tyatt. These areas are hard to pronounce. 1.1 in May Creek, Washington. Just happened. Just south of Olympia, Washington. Central Park, a 1.1. Now, these are little ones, but they're popping up. I made a video out. Some of the flooding there in Washington State that we saw them. And the videos that I put out, I compiled a bunch of videos. I've been scouring around the net looking for this crazy. The falls are flooding. Leavenworth, Washington, which is supposed to be like a Bavarian Christmas town, right on the eastern side of the Cascades, kind of where Travis Decker, went vanished or wanted after he killed his children. He hid out there in the, what is it called, the Icicle Creek area. Their entire town has no power. Their power is out. Their power is gone. Their power's been gone all day. The feed was gone. All the feeds. He said the entire town is out with that. That's Chelan County, Snoqualmie Falls, rivers are flowing, like the falls. There's just a crazy amount of water. Towns and communities, water. It's just massive amount of rain. But I'm just wondering, can someone say yes or no? Is this all connected to earthquakes and the crazy rain and the tides and the moon and solar flares and geomagnetic storms? Or is it triggering the atmosphere to produce more water or concentrate water on a certain area? Yes or no? because something tells me, how is all these freaky, crazy stuff happening all at once around the same time? It gotta be. It gotta be. Some people are saying HARP, weather warfare. Then again, check out the weather map for the next couple of weeks. I'm telling you, the whole entire United States is going to be on a warming trend. All this warm, it's like red. It's like, where's the snow? I don't know if there's going to be places around this country that are going to have any snow. Global warming, climate change. We're having a discussion about the extreme weather, earthquakes, tsunamis, and all that stuff. You know, I'm not an expert. I'm just seeing what's in front of our eyes. All these different weather phenomenons that have been happening. It's weird we didn't get no hurricanes either this year. That's strange. But just in the last week, or I would say the crazy weather has been happening. They were talking about crazy snow in like Jamestown, New York. I don't know if you saw the blizzard conditions there. They got that was complete whiteouts. I would say the crazy weather actually started happening when we had that first geomagnetic storm back in early November, when it started coming through. I think that's when things started going wacky and strange. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it makes you wonder. Oh, another thing. Bloomberg puts this story out. Extreme weather plunges Brazil's largest city into darkness. And that was in Brazil. Brazil's largest city lost its power. Strong winds and a worsening drought. What's going on there? That's coming out with Bloomberg. But yeah, this stuff is something is very fishy here, to say the least. Look at the sky out there. No tsunami. I don't know. Is the water receding? We're looking at, this is a live look at one of the feeds on the coastline here, as they have a tsunami advisory. We need Bill Nye, the science guy. We need somebody. Mr. Wizard. Remember Mr. Wizard's World and Nickelodeon? We need one of these people. We need somebody. We need John Hope. Well, he's not around for the Weather Channel. We need somebody. Jim Cantori. Can we get Jim Cantori in the chat? Can we get somebody? Al Roker. Where's Al Roker? Who are we going to get? We want to know if it's all connected. It does look like it's receding a little bit, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like it's receding? Nah. Sometimes our eyes play tricks on us, you know. We watch buildings sometimes whenever there's things going on. We say, hey, is that building leaning? Depends on the camera. Look at the time there. 13:32, 22 seconds, 12:12, 25 off the coast of Japan. We're on the coastline of Japan. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Or is it something going on with the government is causing these earthquakes? Geopolitical warfare, drilling below, tampering with our Earth's surface to cause these things. Some people speculate and say things like that. I don't know. Just sharing the information. What's going on there? It looks like it's like gonna rain there. All right, let's see if the tsunami advisory. Let me go to the USGS site. Let me just see what's going on. USGS.gov. They have a 6.7 earthquake interactive map. See if we got any warnings. What's going on? Tsunami.gov. Yep, tsunami.gov. Talking about. Oh, wait, might be over. Might be over. Maybe. Let me see. Because if you go to their page, they're now saying no tsunami warning, advisory, watch, or threat. I'm going to screenshot this, and I'm going to put this in the chat. I think possibly this is good news. NOAA Could be canceled because it's now not coming up. I kept checking the page and they kept saying advisory. And if you look now, let me get this up on the screen here. Think they weathered another storm in Japan. Possibly. Let me see, canceled. That's a good word to use, canceled. See what everybody says. Now they're just talking about the other day when the one was the tsunami warning was canceled, but I'm not seeing any indication. But the website here, their site, so we'll look more into this because a lot of people also post videos like after the fact and on Twitter. People are posting things when things have already happened. Remember that crazy tsunami warning that was off the coast of Russia a few months back? That one got pretty crazy too. And we were watching in real time if a tsunami was going to hit Hawaii. They were panicking. They were like really, really panicking. Let me see if there's anything else on the flooding too. Look, if you look on NOAA's site, no tsunami warning, advisory, watch, or threat. And that's the area where the 6.7 earthquake happened. But they're saying no threat. So I would take them at their word, I guess. No threat. Good. Good news. Always good news to hear that. All right. Let me look and see any reports. We're always on standby and watching this just to see what's going on, kind of keep people informed, have a conversation, provoke thought, hear you guys speculating and talking and chat. But we said we have one of the funnest, interesting chats on YouTube on JLR Investigates, particularly in the day. It's a little late, so I know a lot of the regular watchers are probably in sleep or going to bed or winding down because we don't really do lives late at night unless something is really going on. So CGTN still puts out tsunami advisory issue, but I'm looking at NOAA's site and clearly it says up the top there, no tsunami warning, advisory, watch, or threat. So I think people are just trying to catch up. So I'm gonna say the thing is for this particular event, everything is at ease. I'm gonna say, but if something else definitely breaks, we'll come back. But it was an interesting conversation talking about this, plus the flooding. We're gonna pay attention also to the flooding that's happening in Washington State. I'm sure we'll be back tomorrow on that one if it continues to rain. So I'm gonna blow myself up here because it is getting late. It's almost 12 midnight. Folks, be safe out there. It's been real, and I'll keep you informed of what's going on. Always in the know, all of you. You guys are great, too. Thanks for making the chat interesting, and we'll talk soon. Y'all have a great evening. Be safe out there, wherever you're watching from. Thanks for watching JLR Magnolia Investigates. Stay safe. We'll talk soon.